All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking at the review sheet. You'll have a lot of reviews for this test. This test will not be until Wednesday. We get out after break. Okay? This is just a little intro to it because I don't want you to forget everything over your week being gone. LaShawna, you must put up your head. You need to have this out in front of you. Okay. So, number one, we're looking at finding the length of the unknown side and tell whether the side lengths are Pythagorean triple. If we have two sides of a triangle, how do we find the unknown length? Anybody? Pythagorean theorem is what we use. What would be the C? 7.1. Okay, so I'm going to go 5 squared plus, I'm just going to call it B squared equals 7.1 squared. So I get 25 plus B squared equals, and I go 7.1 squared gives me 50.41. And then I'm going to subtract 25 from both sides. And I get B squared equals 25.41. And now what do I do? Square root. So B equals the square root of 25.41 gives me 5.04 approximately. Is this a Pythagorean triple? No. Pythagorean triples have to be whole numbers. Okay. Yes? The whole numbers. Okay, so that means no decimals or fractions. Okay. All right. So unfortunately, this is going to disappear because that's the kind of program this is. But we're going to go down to number 2, and we're going to determine if this is a right triangle, a obtuse triangle, or an acute triangle. How would I do that? I'm again going to use what? Pythagorean theorem. What's going to be my C? Is it going to be 9? 15, because it's the biggest number. So 12 squared plus 9 squared. I'm going to see if it's equal to 15 squared, greater than or less than. Okay? 12 times 12 is 144. What's 9 times 9? And 15 times 15? 225. Good. 144 plus 81 is 225. They are equal to each other, which means this triangle is a what? Right triangle. All right, I'm going to show you a shortcut for the next one. I know it has like a whole thing set up for you to plug it in and then cross multiply. I think this is easier. If this whole thing is 20 and this part is 15, what's this leftover little part right here? 5. So you know that the two bottom parts, if the hypotenuse is broken up to be able to find the altitude, we simply go x equals the square root of 5 times 15. It's called the geometric means. And we get it's approximately 8.6. 8.7 if we round to the nearest 10. Questions so far about 1, 2, and 3? Let's move on to 4. Okay. So I want you to look at this carefully because my first thought when I see it is, oh, I use trig functions. But what kind of triangle is it? It's got that 30 there, so it means it's a 30, 60, 90. What is across from the 30 degrees? 14. Do we remember what our little thing looks like? We've got a 30, a 60, and 90 degrees. Across from the 30 is our smallest side. Across from the 60 is our second largest side, and across from the 90 degrees our hypotenuse, so that's 2x. We just want to find our second largest side. So what's x equal? 14 square root 3. Done. Okay. All I'm doing is instead of x, I'm plugging in whatever's across from the 30. Okay, so that's why it's 14 square root 3. If I wanted to find the hypotenuse, what would it be?
14.
which is 28. Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to use those trig functions, what I said I think you guys like way better. All right. Let's look at x first. What is x to 24? Opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse? Adjacent. And what is 8? Opposite. Okay, I like to write SOHCAHTOA at the top of my paper or where I start doing trig functions. Okay, which one uses opposite and adjacent? Tan. So I go tan of 24 equals opposite over adjacent. I cross multiply. Remember, it's like this has a 1 under it. 1 times 8 is 8. Tan times x is x tan 24. Divide both sides by tan of 24. So x equals, we do 8 divided by, and we use the regular trig functions, right? Because we're trying to find a what? Side. Good. If we wanted to find an angle, what do we use? Inverse. Inverse, then -1. So we get 17.9, or it should actually round up to 18. So if you put 18, you'd get full credit still too. Okay, let's find y. Okay, what is y to 24? Hypotenuse, and 8 is still the opposite. So which one uses opposite and hypotenuse? O and H. Sine of 24 equals what? What do I put on top? Over y. That is the most common mistake I've been seeing, is that you guys are flipping the fraction. Okay. Cross multiply. Remember, this is a 1 on the bottom. You get y sine 24 equals 8. Divide both sides by the sine of 24. Okay, so y is going to equal 8 divided by sine of 24 gives us 19.7. That says 19.7. 19.7. All right, we're going to solve 6. Okay, so that means we have to find all the sides and all the angles. I'm going to look for angle A first. So what is 14 to A? What is 25? What uses hypotenuse and opposite? Sine. So we're going to use sine of A equals opposite 14 over hypotenuse 25. So what kind of sign are we going to put in there, regular or inverse? Inverse, because we're looking for the angle. Yeah, we're looking for the angle. So we get approximately 34.1 degrees. Make sure you put degrees. Now let's look for C. Now what, 25 is still the what for C? What is 14 now for C? Adjacent. What uses adjacent and hypotenuse? Cosine. Good. Cosine of C equals adjacent over hypotenuse. So then we use the inverse, because again we're looking for an angle. And we get approximately 56 degrees. Okay, there's one more thing I'm missing. How many sides do I have? 2, so I need 3. So I'm going to call this A, okay? So A plus 14 equals 25. A squared plus 14 squared equals 25 squared. 14 squared gives me 96. 196. 25 squared gives me 625. I'm going to subtract 196 from both sides. So A squared equals 625 minus 196, 429. And then I'm going to square root both sides. So A equals square root of 429, which is approximately 20.7. Now I'm going to give you short little 4 problems to do, and that will be it.